Well, today's specialist, perhaps like you as a viewer, fed up with our rigged systems, our bought Congress, and what he calls the looting of America. So he said, the heck with it. I'm running for Congress. Barry Ellsworth is a green energy executive, employs 600 folks at the world's fourth largest ethanol producer, and he is now making his first foray into American politics as a candidate for the U.S. Senate in the state of Nevada, which has the highest unemployment and the most upside-down or underwater homes in America. He joins us on the set today. Bold move on your part, considering that the primary mechanism of current politics is personal destruction.
It is. We've got the Harry Reid machine out there.
Yeah.
That wants Shelley Berkeley in office. The reason I decided to run is when they passed the NDAA, and I have two children that should probably be my grandchildren, but they're not. And it changed the way I look at life completely. Because of my background in finance, because of my background in starting Green Plains Renewable Energy, I know I can fix the problems if I had the chance. The problems are very fixable. You know that. We need to repeal the Bush tax cuts. We need to reinstate Glass-Steagall so badly I can't scream it loudly.
You just need a culture of investment in America.
Yeah.
It's not even rocket science.
And we need, when I look at the people we have back there, they've been back there for 10, 15, 20 years. And the only thing they know how to do is be in and run for office. I really don't think they know how anything works. And it just infuriates me. So I said, Barry, why don't you quit bitching about it and go run for office, because nobody else can. They've got jobs, they've got kids, they've got debts. I don't have any of those things except the kids. So I really said, quit complaining and go run, because I know I can fix the things if they'll put me in office.
Imogen, go ahead.
The housing crisis in Nevada, I mean, how do you begin to fix that? I'd love to hear some specific plans that you've got.
On the website, we put a petition up that we want when enough people sign it, we're going to send it to President Obama and the governor. The banks don't take a loss when they do a short sale. We cover that.
We, the taxpayer.
We, the taxpayer, cover that bank's loss. We have 16,000 kids and their parents. These are not drunks or derelicts. They're homeless in Nevada, and there's probably 10,000 empty homes. It's obscene. It is appalling that we can't put a roof over those people's heads. So what I want to do, stop. You cannot foreclose until you give 50% reduction. If the house is underwater, $200,000, you give $100,000 reduction in principal and let them refinance the whole thing at the best interest rate available, or 5%.
But you recognize that that were you to succeed with a plan like you're suggesting, that it would be so disruptive to the large money center banks that it would literally render Wells Fargo, Citigroup, JP Morgan, and Bank of America in need of global restructuring.
Yes, I do. And I would love them to be globally restructured. If they're too big to exist, or too big to fail, they're too big to exist in my mind. It's
so you're
ridiculous.
ready to provoke what everybody's been avoiding, which is dealing with the necessary bank restructuring in order to deal. The reason we have not dealt with the housing market is because no one wants to deal with the banking system.
That's
and
right.
Any real repair to the housing market is so disruptive to the big banks that everybody's like, forget about it. And I guess you're saying you're up for both. Go ahead, Tim.
You made money selling ethanol, which was something that the federal government mandated people buy, which was subsidized on the federal and state level. I mean, I read through some of your annual reports, and it was dependent on, the U.S. Department of Agriculture loans, the ethanol mandate, ethanol tax credits. This was corporate welfare, and you were profiting from it. Is that something you regret, or are you just part of the problem?
I don't regret it, but I'll explain it to you more because it's a little lengthy. When ExxonMobil gets $156 million tax credit, most of that's from ethanol.
Which tax credit? Okay,
the blender's tax credit that people talk about is this, that it's an ethanol subsidy.
But the mandate was,
oil
I
company
agree.
Gets it.
I agree, but the mandate was an ethanol subsidy in the 05 and 07 energy.
The mandate to force people to blend ethanol.
Yes.
Versus MTBE, which is a carcinogen, which was contaminating our groundwater, which is what the oil companies were using to oxygenate with before. Ethanol doesn't cause cancer. It can make you goofy.
But I would make money if my products were mandatory. And it was lobbyists, it was ethanol industry and corn industry lobbyists who helped make it mandatory that these refiners buy ethanol. Isn't that corporate welfare that costs drivers and taxpayers?
I'm not saying it's wonderful, and I didn't make them. And I understand what you're saying. But honestly, some of it is propaganda by the oil companies. A lot of it is.
But how
Let's imagine you were elected. I'm going to even imagine you're elected president. Would you abolish the ethanol mandate and the ethanol subsidies?
Yes, the subsidies, they can function by themselves perfectly now. The reason
and the mandate also?
Yes.
Okay.
If
We have our answer. Thank you.
But if you were to look, so forget the policy analysis, and I think this is all really actually interesting and dead on, but let's go to tactical engagement, real life, okay? The political process in this country is run through closed primaries that are largely controlled by political parties that are highly financed. 196 people in America provide 80% of all the money for all the super PACs. So unless you've got one of those 196 people and or some other peculiar setup, it is very difficult to get power in this country because of the gerrymandering, because of the closed primaries. There's a reason why 80 to 85% of the time the same people like nobility are reelected, and as they are reelected as nobility, that reelection of them as nobility is what allows them to get bought off and do all the things that we all hate. And so I'd be interested to hear a little bit from you as to how you think you can navigate your way through a system that is designed to keep you out.
Especially with Harry Reid there.
It is designed, and one of the things that really angered me before was he chased another guy out, Byron Giorgio. He just chased him out because he wants Shelley Berkeley. She's the anointed one because she...
By the party.
By the party. She voted for Gramm-Leach-Bliley. She voted for the Commodities Futures Modernization Act. People don't understand that they caused this economic calamity. They caused it.
The Democrats of the late 90s.
The Democrats and the Republicans.
Right.
Gramm-Leach-Bliley passed
right.
90 to 8. 90 to 8 in the Senate.
You can't pick a party, you're right.
No, to me, that shows the level of corruption. Because in my mind, only a fool would let Wall Street back into our banking system after the 1907 Depression, after the Great Depression.
You're preaching to the choir at this table.
Yeah.
So, but how do you answer my question? Then I got to go. Which is, how do you get around the fact that this is a system that is designed to make sure that people like you don't get in?
I do the best I can, work as hard as I can to get my name out there, and I tell the truth. And I hope that when people that meet me, they all want to vote for me. I know I got into the race a little bit late, so we're doing everything we can to get my name out there. Robocalls. They can. Every voter in the state will hear my name by the end of this week 3 times. And how they react to that, I don't know. Because I see them doing the same thing now. They're making about birth control. So people are afraid, we've got to vote for the person we trust. No, don't get your eye off the issue. We need to fix the financial problems.
Super quick, how does birth control play into this?
What they're doing now, I think, with what the Republicans are doing, they want to get people focused off the real issues.
But he's just saying that's the latest wedge issue.
Yeah, before it was gay marriage.
Right, you pick them. Right.
They get people afraid.
Yeah. No, I agree. I could not agree with that more. Barry, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much.
I'd love you to keep us posted because I think that we do need more incumbent challengers, period, in this country, and I have tremendous respect for your willingness to engage on that level and to tolerate this level of questioning, which I'm sure if you're successful will be the beginning, my friend.